Welcome back to Detroit Pissing Me Off. Today on the show, we're going to talk about the preseason game between your Detroit Pistons and the Phoenix Suns. We'll see what Monty Williams has in the game plan. It's just preseason, don't get me wrong. One of the title contenders had quite an offseason, the Phoenix Suns, bringing in Bradley Beal, among others. We'll get into some of the matchups here that we're going to see tomorrow, October 8th. And a question here, will Kevin Durant and Devin Booker play in the first preseason game? Good question. And the answer from Suns coach Frank Vogel is yes, they will in fact both play on Sunday against the Pistons and Monty Williams. This was published on October 6th by Trevor Booth on Clutch Sports. But he also said they're not going to play that much, so we'll see how that goes. In addition, they did not say whether Bradley Beal will play, but there are no indications that he has an injury, so expect to see him as well. Booker said on Thursday that he could talk all day about what Williams did for his career, and now we get to see what he can do for Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, and the rest of the Pistons. We'll talk about Asar Thompson as well, as Asar Thompson has been raising some eyebrows in training camp, and we'll talk about the battle, the backup big battle between Wiseman and Bagley. Who is going to get the nod from old Monty? Monty's saying it's going to be between Bagley and Wiseman for the backup center minutes. With Isaiah Livers out for 6 to 8 weeks, will Sarr jump in the starting lineup with Bojan, or will Sarr be in the lineup with Isaiah Stewart, or will Isaiah Stewart be coming off the bench and Bojan and Asar Thompson are together, or Asar Thompson coming off the bench? There's a few different options here. Also, Killian Hayes has been impressing from the mouth of Monty Williams. Let's start off with the starting five. Tell me what starting five you think you'll see tomorrow night and the start of the regular season as well. I think it'll be a Bojan and Stewart at the small forward, power forward positions. Those seem to be the two positions most in question. Of course, with Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey in the backcourt with Jalen Duren at center. However, we've heard some rumblings that possibly Jaden Ivey could be used as a sixth man. And do you want to have Jaden Ivey and Bojan Bogdanovic in the same lineup because of the defensive liabilities that those two players could bring to the table? My personal favorite lineup would be bringing Isaiah Stewart off the bench as the backup power forward, keeping Bojan or Asar Thompson at the small forward, power forward. Probably Bojan guard the power forward spot, the guy that's a little slower of foot. I want to see Asar Thompson go out and guard Kevin Durant right off the get-go. I think that'd be nice to see. Hey, can he get in Kevin Durant's personal space and make things interesting for Kevin Durant? The starting five for Phoenix, I would assume at this point, would be Bradley Beal. The only true point guard that Phoenix has is a guy by the name of, you may recognize the name Saben Lee. Does that ring a bell? Yes, Saben Lee is on the franchise, and he is the only point guard, true point guard that Phoenix has at this point. I do assume they'll use Bradley Beal as the point guard, along with the aforementioned Devin Booker. Now, Bradley Beal, I would think, would have to be a little bit more of the assister in that department. Then at small forward, we're talking some options here. Newly acquired Nasir Little, don't expect him to start. Grayson Allen, the newly acquired. Could Yuta Watanabe start at the small forward spot? Doubtful. Could play a three-guard lineup and go with Eric Gordon as well. Bol is the new 7'2" power forward / center that was newly acquired off the waiver wire. The Pistons could have gotten him. Of course, if you remember correctly, they did trade him at one point. Then he failed the physical, and then he went to Orlando in a separate trade. The Pistons had a chance this offseason, decided not to go the Bol route, and he is now on Phoenix. It'll be interesting to see how the Phoenix Suns utilize him tomorrow afternoon. So, you're going to have Jalen Duren guard Jusuf Nurkic, a big body down low, someone that can score in the paint and grab rebounds. Be an interesting matchup to see what Jalen Duren is able to do versus the big fella Jusuf Nurkic, the 7-footer, 290-pounder. So I would see Kevin Durant probably play the power forward spot. So I'd say, hey, start Asar Thompson on that spot. Who would he match up against in this lineup? Could you go him against a Yutan Watanabe, perhaps, to be a potential starter. Probably not. Probably come off the bench, but a guy who's definitely get some minutes. A guy who shot over 40% from downtown for the Brooklyn Nets last season. And then, of course, I would say Bradley Beal, probably guarded by Jaden Ivey, and Cade Cunningham would probably get the Devin Booker spot. Or if they go with a different lineup, the lineup I would see the best defensively for the Pistons would be to start Asar Thompson over Bojan, bring Isaiah Stewart at the power forward position, and then you could put Isaiah Stewart on Durant, maybe put on Asar Thompson on Devin Booker, possibly. The Phoenix Suns, not a great matchup for the Pistons, let's be honest. It'll be interesting to see what the Pistons, the hungry young Pistons, can do in this one. And of course, it's just a preseason game, but hey, I've been waiting all winter long. And in just 2 weeks away, I'll be going to my first Detroit Piston game here in Oklahoma versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, doing some coverage from the game. I'm very excited about that. Hopefully, all the Pistons players, starters, are still getting minutes in Game 3. Coming off the bench here, let's go assuming off the bench in the backcourt, Monty Morris. Alec Burks will definitely be the point guard, shooting guard when the season commences. I think we'll actually see quite a bit, possibly from Killian Hayes and Marcus Sasser tomorrow night. Monty Williams is really going to want to see what these guys can offer, and tomorrow night would be a great opportunity to see that. I would definitely think there'd be some minute restrictions on the Pistons starters as well. It's going to be interesting tomorrow night, folks. Do me a solid, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more exciting Detroit Piston news. This is Detroit Piston Me Off. But before we go away, let's talk a little bit about Killian Hayes.